Dear viewers and listeners, welcome to another episode of the podcast series for the QuantiFarm project. Today we are honored to have Chiara Corbo from our partner organization Politecnico di Milano. Hello Chiara and welcome to our podcast.
Hello, thank you.
So today we are focusing on the work we are doing in the project. And as we know very well, Politecnico di Milano is responsible for the research and development of the project assessment framework. So, I would like to start by asking you, what does this framework aims to assess?
Well, the QuantiFarm assessment framework is a practical tool aiming to assess the cost and benefits of the implementation of digital agricultural technologies, and also it aims to provide an assessment of the sustainability impacts from the economic, environmental and social point of view. So the objective is to provide a framework, but that it is a practical tool for farmers to concretely understand the impact, the economic impact, the cost and benefit of the application of these technologies. In addition, we are also providing some input from some focus on the social aspect, also using a questionnaire to understand the social impact.
Thank you very much for your answer. And as you mentioned, you are focusing on the farmer's perspective, but you're also going to adopt a society-wide perspective. Could you tell us a bit more about how these are different?
Yes, for sure, when talking about sustainability, always we have to cope with a trade-off between the farmer, the single unit perspective, in this case the farmer's perspective, and the sustainability for the society. The two things are not always connected, but there is, as I was saying, a trade-off. Let me give you an example. It's very important to reduce the use of pesticide and fertilizers, for example, in agriculture, but to reduce the environmental burden and also to reduce the cost for farmers. But it's also very important to understand that the use of pesticide, fertilizer, etc. is very important. For example, treatments are important for the health of plants, for the yields. So there is a trade-off between what it is important from the economic point of view for the farmers and what is important for the environment. Another important example is the impact of digital agricultural technologies, in general of digital technologies on jobs, because there is some people can think that using digital technologies, for example, in agriculture, can lead to a reduction in the employment, and so it's very important to understand the impact of digital solutions on aspects like labor, like the stress for farmers, for farmers, and in general for the society. Deriving from the use of digital technology. So this is why we are considering the farmer's perspective, but also the impact using specific methodologies, etc., on the wide society.
Thank you very much for your answers. And have you used scientific literature and real-life data from interviews or questionnaires?
Yes, we have used both the things. We have started using a top-down approach, so starting from the scientific literature and also grey literature and the work made in other projects to understand what are the most important KPIs to be considered when we are talking about the impact, the sustainability impact of that, but also other work made to understand the cost and benefits of digital agricultural solution. But then so this work led to the first version of the framework, of the assessment framework. But then we adopted a bottom-up approach because we asked to all the farmers to test the framework. We collected data from real life, so from farms, in order to test the framework, but also to understand if the KPIs and all the indicators that we have retrieved for our assessment framework were consistent, were good for farmers to understand the impact. So we have used both the approaches.
So you're using various sources and you're using both questionnaires and interviews?
Absolutely.
Great. So, I would like to ask you now, from the progress marked so far, can you share some first highlights regarding that sustainability?
Yes, I have to say that we have conducted the analysis for the first period, so it's a little bit early probably to definitely assess, to say something about the impact, but we have the first, to generalize results, I mean. But we have the first important results from the first year of analysis. Particularly, we have seen very important results from the economic point of view about the yields, for example, that in some cases, in a lot of cases, were increased thanks to the use of, for example, decision support system or precision irrigation system. For example, in maize cultivation, there was an increase of almost 20% in the yields. Also, an important reduction of costs by the reducing the use of pesticides, for example, in vineyards, thanks to the use of a decision support system, and reducing the use of pesticide means a reduction in cost and a reduction in the environmental burden. But also were very interesting the results from the social point of view, to understand the impact on social sustainability by the use of the DATs. We have used the assessment framework and also a specific questionnaire to understand these impacts. And we have started to see some important results, for example, in the intergenerational change. So lots of farmers told us that the young generations started to be more interested in the agricultural work, in farming, thanks to the use of digital solutions. Also, we are trying to understand, for example, the impact on gender gap, because in some cases there is the fear that the use of digital technologies in agriculture can also increase the gender gap. Otherwise, we are, on the contrary, we are trying to understand, for example, the role of women in the decision of adopting the digital solution, and in some cases we have seen since the first year of analysis some interesting results in that sense.
Great, so the results so far are really optimistic. This makes us hope for the best results possible in the future.
Yeah.
Very good. So, moving on to another question, I would like to ask you about the connection of the assessment framework and the QuantiFarm Toolkit. Could you tell us a little bit more about how they are linked?
Yes, the two things are very well connected, are strictly connected. First of all, because all the results from the analysis that we are conducting with POLIMI, with the application of the assessment framework, are feeding the QuantiFarm Toolkit. So all the analysis, the results for all the test cases are already available in the toolkit. And also the algorithms that we are implementing to calculate the impact will feed the QuantiFarm Toolkit. So also in the near future, it will be possible to put the data, the farmers will put the data in the toolkit, and they will see the results thanks to the algorithm that has been developed in the assessment framework. Additionally, the results from the assessment framework are also feeding the policy recommendation, are also strictly interconnected with the policy recommendation tool.
Serves as a basis for more results of the project rather than the QuantiFarm Toolkit, which is very, very important.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great. So, regarding the next steps of the assessment framework, what can we wait in the future?
Well, of course, we will continue to collect data from test cases to test the framework. And the framework is a living framework, so this means that also looking at the data, the quality of data, the type of data that farmers are giving us, there is the possibility that the framework will change a little bit in the KPIs or the way, or the algorithms, the way in which the indicators, the results are calculated. But the most important thing is that we are working to better translate as much as possible the impact on economic results, because this is very important for farmers to concretely understand the impact from the monetary point of view. And also we are also understanding how to better visualize, how to offer a better visualization of data, for example, through spider charts or other tool, in order to offer a better understanding of the impact also from the sustainability point of view.
So we are still waiting for a lot of things to happen regarding the assessment framework. So good luck with everything, and we are looking forward to hearing more and more from this aspect of the project. Thank you very much, Chiara, for being here with us today. And thank you for finding the time to participate in our podcast.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
So, as for you, dear viewers and listeners, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe in our newsletter, follow us on social media, and of course visit the QuantiFarm project's website. See you in another podcast.